Hello, my lovelies! This is Jenny from Jenny's Fun Facts. We just want to take a moment to thank you so much, P Eats Meal Preps, for sponsoring our episodes. New menu out every Friday, ordered by Sunday, delivered fresh by Tuesday, and guess what? They deliver to all Montreal surrounding areas as well. Healthy, fresh, and delivered to your door for free. Add them and our podcast on Instagram at p.eats_P as in Peter, R-E, P as in Peter, S. Thanks, P Eats Meal Preps.
Welcome to Noon Hour Out of the Box. This is episode 41. A huge thank you to all our listeners. Your constant love and support is so appreciated by the two of us. And of course, a huge thank you to our producer, Jenny DuHaime, who of course makes all this happen. And to my incredible co-host, my mentor and good friend, Mr. Robert D'Alessio. How are you today, Robert?
I don't know if I've ever said this before. I feel weird. Did I actually say before that I'm actually excited to be here? Did I say that before?
Yeah, you did. You said it backstage. You've been excited, I don't know, for days. This is your favorite subject, and you are the expert extraordinaire on this. So I can't wait to dive in and dive into your brain and have you tell us all about how you got started.
Well, it's something that goes back a while. I always loved the performing arts, being a broadcaster, being on the radio and film, television, and what have you. And I got a little bit tired of waiting for Hollywood, just like a lot of us. So I said, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to take the bull by the horns, and I'm going to do my own thing. And it actually turned out to be a lot of fun. And, at the beginning, you're going on, you're just doing it for fun, and you're trying things out, and you start seeing reactions from the audience and start saying, hey, this is really worthwhile because we're hitting home with a lot of the subjects here. So it becomes fun. And then all of a sudden you become addicted to it. And Here we are, 41 episodes in.
I know. I can't believe it. And it's thanks to you, Robert, that I'm here. It was over a year ago that you convinced me. You twisted my arm. I don't know. You paid off people and you got me to do a podcast / broadcast. Because guys, this is actually a live stream broadcast, and we do extract the video and we put it on streaming platforms via Anchor, which we will talk about a little bit later, and it goes to Spotify and Apple Music, etc. Hey, Michael, how are you?
Thanks for tuning in.
I was terrified, but you got me to do it within 24 hours. I came up with a YouTube channel name and we just put it all together. And next thing you knew, I was a podcaster / broadcaster. Thanks to you, Robert. So you were amazing. I cannot thank you enough. You showed me the whole technical aspect of it. You basically gave me a rundown of how to approach it. You gave me tips on everything from finding guests to how to interview them, how to start the show, how to end the show. It's just, you are a wealth of information and I cannot thank you enough. So I'm sort of dedicating this show to you.
Oh my God.
So you want to start a podcast. So you want to start a contact Robert. No, just kidding. But actually you should contact Robert.
What?
And Robert, you should consider doing little webinars, and I'll even do it with you because I'm sure people would be interested to know how to get started. You know a lot about this. So I'm going to just briefly.
But hang on a sec, Esther.
Yes.
I do want to mention one thing that's very important. Yes, I have acquired a lot of knowledge, a fountain of knowledge. But one thing I do want to mention, I have had someone behind me from the very, very beginning.
Yes,
and that's my
true.
good friend and producer of both Rob's in a Circle and Noon Hour Out of the Box. I must mention Jenny DuHaime has played a vital role in my personal development as a broadcaster, a podcaster, what have you, and for making our shows, respectively,
100%.
and together that much better. So Esther, take it away.
Yes, it's absolutely teamwork, 100%. I know that for Rob's Inner Circle, it's Patty and of course Jenny, who oversees everything. And for Noon Hour Out of the Box, it's Jenny. And a lot of the logos and artwork are because of her, and a lot of the ideas for shows as well. And for Esther's Breeze, thank God for Fernando. Because he does all the background technical stuff, because it can be overwhelming when you're doing a live streaming broadcast.
It is.
So So I'm just gonna give a brief overview, a little bit about how to get started. So you want to start a podcast. So number one, decide on a topic of interest you can talk about every week. Number two, decide on your style of show. For example, you could be solo, you could have a co-host, and you can do it interview style. Number three, equipment. Check Amazon for microphone prices, etc. There are other outlets as well, but you can get some well-priced equipment from there that can start from $30 and up. Now, if you're doing an audio-only podcast, you will need a good editing software. I actually use Adobe Audition, but if you want, you could even use Audacity as well. Number five, a platform to host, if audio only. Both Robert and I recommend using anchor.fm. If you're doing a live streaming podcast / broadcast like we are right now, we recommend StreamYard. And number six, you have to be consistent and post at least once a week. Now, the other thing I want to point out, because a lot of people get confused about this, the difference between a podcast and a broadcast. Podcasts are pre-recorded, downloadable digital files that focus on a specific niche. On the other hand, broadcasts are transmissions of video or audio content via electronic communication mediums to a dispersed audience. While podcasts follow no specific schedule, broadcasts have a set schedule that should be followed, which can be quite limiting. I prefer it myself, but yes, that's one way of looking at it. While podcasts are pre-recorded and can be edited before publishing, broadcasts, which we are experiencing right now, are live and hence making it impossible to edit errors. Robert, have you ever had issues because we go live? Any stories?
I can compare this. Take theater. This is what we're doing right now. And a podcast that is pre-recorded, that's afterwards, you can edit, you can do a whole bunch of stuff, you could embellish it, whatever. We're live. There's no tomorrow here. This is like theater. You mess up and it's like you messed up. There's no cut. Let's go back. So I think that, first of all, we're absolutely nuts doing this live, but anyways, that's my opinion. But there's also that adrenaline, that rush we get, that anticipation. It's that push that, you have to be at your best. You can't come here. It's like, you got to be here. You got to be primed up. You got to be prepped and ready to go. And I just wanted to show the audience, because Esther and I put something together really nice. We're going to show our very, very beginnings, and we're going to show how we progressed to what we are today.
Yikes.
So,
okay.
The first clip is the very first podcast of Rob's Inner Circle when I was experimenting, not knowing exactly where I was going. Hey, homies. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening from Montreal, Canada. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We got our live podcast going on tonight. And welcome to everybody, all viewers, all friends. So don't be shy. Pop in. Identify yourselves. Tell us where you're from. We're from Montreal, Canada. Any other Canadians out there? American friends, probably Europeans, Australians. Hi, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Let's make this a fun night. We're here to support each other. Hi, guys. Don't be shy. Plug in. So, as you can see, that was my very first podcast. I got on and I told myself, I'm just going to go on. I wasn't really all that prepared. It's just go out and chat, testing the turf.
Of course.
And now, folks, I wanted to show you Esther Berzinski's very first podcast after I had to twist her arm.
Yeah.
It was in a cast for 2 weeks, but that's besides the point. So let's take a look at Esther's debut as a podcaster. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Esther Berzinski's podcast, Baptism Party, broadcasting live on Esther's Facebook page. The time has come, ladies and gentlemen, and it's time to bring on the star and the host of Esther's Breeze. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Esther Berzinski. And I think it's time. Where has Nando gone?
Oh, Fernando is, he's got it.
Fernando, I think it's time to pop that cork.
Oh,
there you go. Is there something in particular that, you've told yourself over the years, oh my God, if only I had a radio show, if only I had a podcast, man, is there something you're dying to talk about, you're longing to talk about?
Well, there's I guess a few issues, especially as of late, being of a certain age. Yeah, a little bit about ageism. There's that 100%. A little bit of special needs, because that's something I live every day. And, and of course, what we're all going through right now. I mean, it's difficult on everyone. And I think we have to talk about it, like not to be shy to express that this is difficult. And so we need to reach out and just chat. So.
Wow. I was rambling away there.
Well, we didn't really have, an exact plan, and we were testing the turf.
Right.
We're having fun, checking things out, experimenting. Now, folks, at that point, I had maybe 8 months in broadcasting. I had a little bit of experience, a few shows under the belt. That was Esther's very, very first podcast. Of course, she was nervous.
Very.
Very understandably. But now we want to show you how Esther and I together, because we actually ended up creating Noon Hour Out of the Box together, how we have evolved and we got to the point that we are today. Let's take a look at the difference.
Hey, welcome back to Noon Hour Out of the Box. This is episode 12. Thank you so much for tuning in. Your love and support is so, so appreciated.
Such a pleasure to be here with you and all of our viewers. And of course, our amazing producer, Jenny. Such a pleasure to be here with you all today.
Thank you so much, Robert. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous. I just got off my cell phone before we came on, and I looked at all my things so that, I won't be interrupting anybody or being.
Could you just hold on a sec? I really have to answer this text. Hold on.
Esther.
Yeah.
Esther.
Yeah. Okay. It's
Esther.
okay. Okay. Yeah.
Hello?
It's fine. It's
Esther.
fine. Oh my God. Look at this. You won't believe the comment I got here. Oh my God.
I don't believe. Yeah. I don't believe.
Unbelievable.
Esther.
Okay.
We
I just have
live,
to check.
Esther.
I just have to
Esther.
check one more thing.
Oh
my
God.
Instagram.
Esther.
Oh my God. Look. My post got.
Oh my God.
Yes.
She's like
What?
Totally live. Esther, we're live. What are you doing? We're live.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I can't help myself. I'm so sorry. Yes.
You hear it?
Yeah. Here comes Jenny's
about it.
phone facts.
Yeah.
Fun phone facts or facts about the phone. Jenny's
Fun Facts.
We can do it until let me go bra 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 bra. Now you go blah 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 blah.
Do you feel like you are going 100 miles an hour, like when you are two-fisting popcorn into your cheeks, and you have no control over your two hands like they have a mind of their own? But the first thing you do when you barely have one eye open is to hit the Facebook button, because you have to say happy birthday to the guy that you may have met 5 years ago, and he is still your friend on your feed.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to spoil you, right?
Okay.
You'll be able to use your phone in, bye everybody, see you next week, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of
kidding. Yeah, still using the phone a lot. That was a lot of fun.
Shopping for trouble, Esther. Well, that was a lot of fun. Exactly. So time is moving along quite quickly. So Esther, let's go on to a little bit of a summary and explain a little bit fuller explanation of getting started with the podcast, because we did talk about StreamYard, but they have 3 different options for the audience. So maybe you can share that with us.
Yeah, so if you are interested in going live and using StreamYard, there is a starter package, which is free, which is 30 minutes a month. They have a mid-sized package, which is $25 US a month, which is the one that I have, and I believe you have as well.
Yes, I
And you
do.
can then broadcast on 3 different platforms. And then there's a larger package, considered a professional package, which is a lot more expensive. And you can definitely broadcast to more than 3 platforms with that package.
And of course, when with the experience we have, when you want to do your podcast, one good thing is to sit back and plan it a little bit. Think about what touches home, a subject that you would like to really talk about. It could be dental works. It could be anything at all. It could be chewing gum. Just sit down and have like a little bit of an idea. And then what you want to do is announce it on social media to give your friends, family a chance to know that you're going to be going live and all that. And of course, while the show is going on, it's important to acknowledge the audience. Be ready, willing, and able to engage with the audience. They're going to be making some comments. In some cases, they're going to ask some questions. You'll always have to be there, with the audience, because everybody likes being recognized. It's a lot of fun. You come on, you do comments and all that, and people, they like to be noticed. Of course, there's also the fact that when you're going on, you cannot say, I got an hour to fill. I have to fill up this hour. You need to find contact as you're going along. You have nothing else to say. After 20 minutes, if you have nothing else to say, just cut it short. Don't add that added pressure on you. And of course, it's a good way to do this is also to experiment. Let's say on Monday evenings or Wednesday afternoons, like we're doing, to find where your niche is, where your audience is. One thing I can tell you, it's not a good idea to go live doing a podcast either Friday or Saturday night, because everybody's out enjoying themselves in a restaurant, especially with the nice weather on its way. That's a no-no. However, if you do go live on a Sunday, well, 7, 8 p.m. is a good time because a lot of people work the next day, so they're usually home at that time. And of course, lastly, you want to observe which audience you are attracting, the demographics. Are you attracting a young audience, an older audience? You have to keep an eye on that so that you can focus, where your strengths are. So in terms of equipment, Esther, what do you recommend?
So, you have to invest in a good microphone. So I'm using a Samsung here, which is connected to a Steinberg box, but you don't have to put all that money out. You can get something, like I said earlier, at $30. You could get something at $60, and $100 and up. But just to get a basic microphone is actually good to start with. And what's really important, Robert, and a lot of people don't invest in this, and I think it is of the utmost importance, is to invest in a green screen. This is why, and this is for live, of course. What we're talking about is the live broadcast. You see, Robert is showing what is actually in back of him. And miraculously, with the digital magical powers, you're able to project, for example, that as well. That's quite nice. Exactly. So you need a green screen. You could actually use a blue screen as well. I have a screen that is green and on the other side blue. Either of them works, but I find that it's crisper on a green screen. So I would definitely recommend to invest in that. Again, you can get it on Amazon. I think it was, not sure, $110, maybe less, around that price range. Again, we've talked about this before. Having sufficient lighting is very important. I have a ring light. I have it right in front of me. I invested in that, and it was completely worth the money. It does a lot for how you appear on camera. It helps with complexion. It helps as well with how your background screen appears as well. So I highly recommend investing in that. And I also use it for, audition purposes and many other. It's a great investment. So those are some of the equipment aspects that I highly recommend, especially if you're doing a live broadcast.
And if you want to spice up your show a little bit, eventually what's going to happen is that you're going to be building an audience, and you want to start showing slides like we're doing. Like right now, I'm taking care of all the comments that are going on over here. Esther is going to put on the slides. I'll be putting on the videos. I'll be doing the opener, the closer. We each have our responsibilities, but what is best is eventually to have one person just on the technical production, working on different camera angles. It makes things a lot interesting. You can focus on either one of the guests, or you can focus on both of us like that. So that makes the show a little bit more interesting. And at the same time, of course, with all the comments, the banners, these are things that we made. Actually, Esther did a great job putting these banners together. It makes the show a little bit more colorful. It makes it a little bit more interesting. And there's a wealth of information that's going up as we're speaking. Also, eventually, it's fun to have guests on the show because it makes it a little bit more lively. When you're interviewing the guest, again, you can change the angle, the camera angle. You go back and forth. And of course, I would recommend, this is not true for everybody, but I like using this, to have a pre-interview with your guest before you go on. That way, you establish a relationship with your guest. By the time you go live, you're friends. And it's as if you've known each other forever. Anyways, this is my way of doing it. And it's not necessarily the best way. Some people just want to wing it. You have the guest on and, take it from there. And I also recommend that when you do have a guest coming on the show, at least a half hour before you go live, make sure the guest is on so you could take care of any technical issues. You check the sound, you check the lighting. Some guests may have a hard time coming onto the platform. You got to be on the phone helping him or her coming on. So it's very important to do all that.
Yeah. And so my opinion about pre-interviews, I was doing it for a while. What I find for myself, and this is very personal, if you are doing that style where you want to have a podcast broadcast where it's the style of having an interview, you could do the pre-interview. That works well for many people. For myself, I've discovered that I do a lot of research on the person. I contact them and ask them, what do they want to talk about, what they don't want to talk about. I have them send me materials, and we chat a little bit before the show. And then I wouldn't call it winging it, because I actually have it very well planned. I do prepare about 15 questions. Then I have alternative questions that I ask. They're sort of generalized questions that I ask my guests. And then, of course, I pay very close attention to what they're talking about. So then we could have an actual conversation, as opposed to just, question, answer. And that is my style. Everybody has their own style, and they're all correct.
Oh, by the way, we have to break for program identification.
Of course we do. I love that.
So, Esther, I noticed that you're having a lot of fun doing this, because what happens as you go on, you build confidence.
Yeah.
And, and all of a sudden it becomes a conversation. You're talking to the audience as if they're actually there. So it's a process. It takes a bit of time. It takes a bit of training, but, eventually you end up in the zone.
You do. You get over the sort of stage fright, which was a show that we both did a few months back. You get comfortable. You do definitely get in the zone. And you realize that that you have something to say, that your audience wants to hear that. What's great about going live is that oftentimes there is audience participation, and that it's just actually a lot of fun. And that's basically the reason why we do this, because we have a lot of fun doing it. And we believe, and I think it's true, that we have something to share with the audience.
I have a great suggestion to the audience as to how to spend a wonderful sunny afternoon on this very Wednesday, the 30th of March. You want me to share that with the audience?
Oh, please do.
A must do. Go onto YouTube, subscribe to the Esther's Breeze YouTube channel, and both of them, the Bobby Short Shorts YouTube channels. In my case, you go onto the playlist and go to Noon Hour Out of the Box, and you're going to have 41 exciting episodes We have a lot of fun there. It's absolutely amazing, very entertaining. So that's a great way to spend the afternoon. Of course, what you want to do is subscribe to the channels, like the channels, leave some nice comments. Of course, we're always welcome to nice comments. Who isn't, right?
Absolutely.
And then you want to share and hit the notification bell, because every time there's a new production coming out, you're going to be the first to know.
I also want to point out there is the audio version of Noon Hour Out of the Box available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other streaming platforms. And as a matter of fact, in the banners, it says that Apple Podcasts is the #1 audio podcast platform. So we are there. So if you're you don't want to take the time to actually watch, you just want to listen, that's a great way to do it as well. And a lot of people do like that. And even in your car, you can pick up a lot of podcasts. So we are there on Spotify and on Apple Podcast, as is Rob's Inner Circle, correct?
Well, I have 3 amazing podcasts to recommend to the audience. The first one is Noon Hour Out of the Box.
Right.
The other one is Esther's Breeze.
Oh, stop. Thank you. Yes.
And folks, tune into her last show. She had a psychic medium on the show. The guy was great. Absolutely great. He was brilliant. And of course, on Monday evenings, Rob's Inner Circle, there's a lot of excitement going there as well. Esther, you know what? I think the clock is going a little bit too fast for us today. It's time to sign off, unfortunately.
Well, I've had a blast, Robert. This is a subject that we both feel very passionate about. And I'm so glad that you guys tuned in. And for those who will be watching later, this is something that you might want to watch a few times, because we have a lot of great tips.
And there's a lot of laughs. Some of the episodes, they're all funny, but some of the episodes hit more home. Like, especially the one we recommend is the cell phone episode. There's also the one on the oversized purses. We got episodes on astral projection, lucid dreaming. We got some shows on alt health as well. A lot of entertaining stuff. Guys, you can spend a whole afternoon and absolutely love doing what you do best. Enjoy yourselves.
And of course, that one that you loved so much, Robert, the one on polyamory.
Oh, yeah. Polyamory, by the way, is
uncomfortable.
Is being in love with 5-6 people at the same time.
No, not necessarily. But you can watch Robert squirm in his seat live.
It's like I'm telling myself, I can't believe. Yeah, anyways, it's not about me. It's about the show.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
I was taking a little bit aback, but it's okay. We all have our own tastes.
Absolutely.
Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for being there all the time. Thank you, Esther Berzinski, for being such an amazing co-host.
And thank you, Robert D'Alessio, for being an incredible co-host.
Didn't I hear that before? Didn't you hear that before?
Yeah,
we keep hearing that every week. Hey, you know what? We're both incredible. But let us not forget one more member of our crew who's also incredible. Who is she?
Jenny DuHaime.
What does she do?
She's our producer.
The producer of Noon Hour Out of the Box. Folks, thank you so much. We're going to see you next week. Same time, same place, same reason. Be good and stay out of trouble.
Ciao for now.
Bye.